Usually when you think about putting a screen on a wall, you treat it like a really heavy picture frame. You find the studs, lift the TV into place, plug it in, and well, you're done. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at what it actually takes to mount a 165-inch, perfectly seamless display in your space. We're getting into the engineering behind the Draper Profile Plus.
Yeah, and we really need to emphasize the scale here right from the jump. I mean, we are talking about a 165-inch diagonal, 16-point Netter widescreen behemoth.
It is basically the size of a wall itself.
Oh, it is massive.
Yeah.
Whether you are outfitting a high-end home theater, a huge church sanctuary, or, a corporate training room, a screen this massive completely changes the physics of the room. But what makes this specific Draper model stand out is how it blends that giant scale with a really minimalist design.
Right, so it looks a lot like what happened with modern smartphones. Designers stripped away the bezel so the image basically just floats in your hand or, well, on your wall in this case.
Exactly, yeah. They use a zero edge or completely borderless design. So instead of a thick plastic frame, the screen uses these extruded aluminum baffles on all four sides.
Wait, why extruded aluminum specifically? Like, why not just plastic?
Well, it's all about light control. Those baffles are actually designed to absorb any stray light from the projector, so instead of the edges looking washed out, you get a perfectly crisp boundary.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it creates a framing system that is optically seamless and entirely mullionless, meaning there are no vertical bars or grid lines breaking up the image. And despite its massive size, the whole thing sits less than 2 inches off the wall.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second,
Yeah.
because I'm picturing a screen that's 140 inches wide that is literally the length of a small car. How do you even get that through a standard office door or, into a commercial elevator?
You don't. I mean, you literally can't.
Right, because of basic physics?
Exactly. That exact logistical nightmare is why high-end projection screens are engineered entirely differently than standard flat panels. You simply cannot ship a 140-inch piece of rigid material. So the Draper Profile Plus deliberately ships completely unassembled.
Wait, really? So you're basically building a massive 165-inch screen on site from scratch?
That's exactly it. It's a lightweight frame with a viewing surface.
But if it's just a flexible viewing surface being pulled over a frame, how do you prevent the image from sagging? Because I imagine the slightest wrinkle or wave in the fabric would totally ruin a projected image.
And that is the real engineering magic here. It uses a sliding hook and loop system to attach the viewing surface.
Like Velcro.
Sort of, but it's not just basic Velcro. The sliding aspect allows installers to incrementally stretch and adjust the fabric along the frame. That is how you achieve absolute drum-tight tension across 165 inches without distorting the material.
That makes a lot of sense. And the material itself actually matters a lot at this scale, right?
Oh, absolutely. This model uses their matte White XT1000V surface. When you are projecting an image that large, you need a surface that diffuses light perfectly uniformly.
Or else, what happens?
Or else you end up with a blinding hot spot right in the center and totally dark corners. So it all mounts directly to the wall with included brackets. Although, if your space requires it to hang from the ceiling, you have to specially request flown brackets.
Got it.
Yeah. Ultimately, it is an exercise in architectural problem solving, not just video tech, just to get it into the room.
Right, because this isn't just a screen, it's a custom architectural installation, which means the way you buy it is fundamentally different than picking up a TV at a big box store. So let's talk about the financial risk involved here.
Yeah, it is a significant commitment. I mean, you're looking at $3,605 right now through HDTVSupply, which is actually down from an MSRP of over $4,500.
That is quite the investment.
It is. But the initial price tag isn't even the real hurdle. Because this is a custom-built special order item, there is a massive catch. It is strictly non-cancelable, non-returnable, and entirely non-refundable.
Here is where it gets really interesting. A zero return policy means you literally cannot afford a single measuring mistake.
Not a single one.
You're committing to this hardware before you've even verified if your wall has a half-inch bow in it. You have to be absolutely certain of your room dimensions before you click buy.
It really puts an incredible amount of pressure on the AV installers. They have to have the room dimensions, the wall clearance, and the projector throw distance calculated perfectly. Pulling off a 165-inch seamless display is clearly less about buying a piece of electronics and much more about executing a meticulously planned architectural installation.
It definitely makes you look at that heavy, rigid picture frame TV hanging in your living room a little differently.
For sure. And, it raises a fascinating question about the future of interior design.
Mm.
Yeah, as projection surfaces become entirely borderless and sit completely flush with our environments, at what point does a screen stop being a separate object in the room
Yeah.
and simply become the wall itself?
Wow, yeah. Something for you to mull over the next time you were sizing up an empty space. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive and keep exploring.